In this video, we're going to show how to write a book with the help of AI in just a few minutes. We're going to use Wababai, write a book assisted by AI. And the way to use it is simple. Let's start by creating a project. We click here on creating a project, and then the first thing is the name of the project. This is going to be writing for kids. And now we are going to answer three key questions about the book. First one, what is the book about? It is a book about how to write a book for kids that are 10 years old. For whom? Okay, this is for kids that want to write a book to share with their friends. Yeah, okay, let's say that's our audience. So this is going to be for this type of kids. And why are we writing this book? Because, okay, we're going to say that because writing is a very important skill. It's an important skill for kids to learn in the age of AI. Style. Okay, so this is my typical style, but in this case, because this is for kids, I think we might need to adjust it a little bit and just say, well, it's playful entertainment, and we're going to just add it's targeted for kids of 10 10-year-old kids, 10-year-old kids. All right, so we've done the main part, which is just asking these three questions and explaining what is the writing style. Next thing, okay, book title. Let's pick a book title. We feel a bit lazy, so we're asking Wababai to suggest 5 titles, and then let's see which one we get. I'm going to ask advice for my son. Which one should we take? Which one is better? Write on, is it to crafting your own story. I think the first one is quite good. Crafting your adventure. Pages of possibility. This one is also good. An awesome bookmaker. Okay. Let's take the first one. The first one I think is quite good. Anyway, yeah. Well, let's see, because if this demo goes right, we might publish this book in KDP, so you are all able to see it. What is the book description? Okay, well, let's just get Wababai to give us a book description so that we have a feeling of what type of book we are writing. Okay, all right, write on kids. Okay, that's cool. Okay, to embark kids on an exciting journey to write books. Okay, so now it's where the main part happens. We're going to generate an outline. We have answered 3 questions, right, of what is this book about. We now have a book title, we have book description, but okay, we need to write the book. So how are we going to do it? First thing, let's write an outline, and let's get Wababai to give us an outline for a book that answers those 3 questions, right, for this type of book. So we get in the AI to write it. It's already done. Let's first review it and see, and now we can pick and decide whether we want to take it or not. Okay, the first one is an introduction. Of course, yeah, why not? We're going to have an introduction. Then discovering your passion for storytelling. Yeah, that's cool. Crafting characters. Oh, all right. So this is for boys to write the story. So, okay, even characters. Okay. Building your story wall. Oh, okay, that's good. That's good. Plotting your adventure. Okay, you see, this is for young novelists. Adding spice with dialogue. Polishing your prose. Revising and editing. Sharing your story with the world. Okay, pretty good. Actually, if a 10-year-old kid can learn all these things, I think this is good. So that's a good suggestion, Wababai. Let's continue. So once this is created. Now it's when we're going to go chapter by chapter and write a book. But this time, so that we can see how Wababai can do it very quickly, we're going to be letting Wababai write it for us. Right? So we could write this book, but we're going to, give me some ideas, right? So generate the first draft for me. I could edit this also. I could edit the prompt and say, okay, maybe not just this introduction. Okay, it's very simple. Okay, we have an introduction. It's good. Look even what we can do with the introduction. Once it's written, you have here a few things that you can do. You can copy, you can edit it, but you can even add things like, okay, let's add a quote. It's going to read it and it's going to say, oh, okay, writing is the painting of the voice. That is what Voltaire says. Okay, we'll keep it. And even for kids, I think it's important to also have takeaways for each chapter. So we're going to add also key takeaways. Okay, so we're done. We have the first section written. We might need to read it and rewrite it later. We'll show also how we can do it. But for the moment, let's continue and then let's go to the next section. And in the next section, again, let's say, okay, generate another draft for this. And this is the way the process goes, right? We're going to do it quickly and then we come back in the second part. We're done with all the sections. Now everything is written. Now, once I have all the sections, we're going to generate the manuscript, right? So one thing we can do easily, we can go directly to rewrite, or at any time I can come here to my book and then go to manuscript, and generate the book. What is the manuscript? The manuscript is the compilation of all sections into a single document, right? So it's actually the book. So I could come here and then say, okay, I don't have any manuscript, so compile the manuscript. It's done. Immediately. It's 5,000 words, so it's not a very long book. It's just 5,000 words. Actually, one thing I can ask is, okay, how good is the book the way it is now? With this book, actually, first, let's do something. I can click on it and then see the book, right? So this is the book. I can send it by email to a friend. I can copy, paste, and then paste it in another document, right? So I can then edit and publish it. So I have here the full book. But with Wababai, you can do much more than this, because this is already a first draft of your book. It's okay. Up to here, you can do, it's pretty good. But we want to go one step beyond, one step further. And what we want to do is to help you refine this book. You can do it section by section, actually. So one way to do it, and I'll show you how, is you could go, let's do it first, actually. Let's go just a couple of sections. Let's imagine I go to this section, building your story wall. And when I want to edit it, I just click here and then I can write whatever I want. Or I can imagine and say, you know what? I think I still want to improve this section. And then I'm going to say, okay, enrich it for me. If I click here, it's going to improve what I've written. So if this was written by Wababai, but if I have written it myself, I could have just asked Wababai to proofread it, or to enhance it, and to enrich it. When I ask it to enrich it, it's going to, well, in this case, it's giving me a few cases. Actually, I might decide to use it or not. And here is where you can, look at this. You can click on the compare. And if I click, when I click here, I'm going to be able to judge whether I want to take the changes or not. Look, I have this first, the new version and the last version. So I can decide, I have also here the summary of changes, and I can decide if I want to take the changes or not. Let's imagine that in this case, I'm not going to take them. I'm going to say, okay, don't take them. So it's going to leave it the same way it was, right? But again, this is just to show that you can actually even improve what you are writing, right? Just by editing, or by, again, adding quotes, or even asking for advice. Well, there are many features that you can do. But to keep it simple, let's say we already have our manuscript, and let's go back to the manuscript, and I want to analyze it. I want to say, okay, assess it. Is it good? Is it not good? If I click here, is going to show us an assessment of our manuscript. It's going to tell us if the manuscript is good, it's not good. Actually, it's going to assess it along 3 lines. And here's where I have this assessment, right? It's telling me whether it's clear or uncluttered, whether it's engaging and relevant. Well, it gives me a few areas of improvement, right? But let's go back. And another thing we can do is you could have notes previous to the book, but actually you can also rewrite it. Right? Let's imagine I want to rewrite it. So one way to rewrite it is going chapter by chapter. In this case, we only have 1 chapter, so it's going to be simple. It's a very simple book. And we're going to say, well, you can assess a chapter. You can rewrite the chapter. Let's say we're going to do something. We're going to first assess it. Again, this is the same thing as assessing the manuscript. Is generating an assessment of the chapter. It's telling me what is it's clear. First, it's rating on clarity. It's rating on engagement. It's rating it on insight, and it actually is giving me quite a good, compelling score. Okay, it's giving me some unique selling points. Actually, when you read it, you realize the assessment is quite good. It's like if an editor could give you an assessment. This is like Musa Wababai giving you an assessment of your book. This is Musa Wababai, by the way, if you're not familiar with her. And I can tell, well, not just give me the assessment, but rewrite the whole chapter. In this case, the whole book. Rewrite it, and then it's going to take the whole section by section, and it's going to entirely write it by itself. And after that, here it is. We have the rewritten section, and okay, he has taken the things I wrote, but it's revising entirely and making a new one, right? So this is also interesting because if you go into editing mode, you also can, when you compare, you can have a view of what things have been changed, right? And you see that is slightly changed, right? So the chapter, typically the rewritten chapter is better than the previous one, right? Because this one, there might be some repetitions here. You're taking any section, you're linking the section together, so it's going to be looking far better, right? So okay, we take that rewritten version, and we are going to do something else, and it's that we're going to come to here is where we have the rewritten chapters. In this case, we only have 1 chapter, but I'm going to go to the rewritten chapter, and actually I'm going to ask again for assessing this chapter. I'm going to say, okay, but this rewritten chapter, how good it is. And this is interesting because imagine that you spend some time reading it and adjusting it and adding stories and adding some things. This is going to tell you, again, a new rating so that you can see from an objective source, like if this was your editor, how good it is compared with the previous one. Actually, I'm going to compare it now. I'm going to say, okay, let's compare with the previous analysis that we did. In the previous analysis, but it's quite a useful tool. Before we had like 4 areas of improvement. Now it gives us only like 3 areas of improvement. Of course, it's a matter of reading and judging for yourself how good the assessment is. And I think that's all what I wanted to share. There are more things that can be done with Wababai. But this is just a simple way of how you can create a book. If you have many books, you have all your books listed here. This is the one we just created. And again, if I want to add chapters and add some new things, there are many things that can be done on top that we will see in different sections. Before cutting, one more thing is you can ask Musa Wababai. This is Musa Wababai. This is your editor. This is your development editor. So before starting a book, you can actually also ask any question. Like, it's an editor, and you can ask any question, or you can even ask Musa Wababai to prompt you to write, and then she will be guiding you into any ideas that you might have to write a new book. So many things that can be done, and this is it for today. Thanks.